What are White Walkers? How do they work, and how do you kill them? How are you feeling about Game of Thrones right now?
I'm behind right now, so unfortunately, and we're missing tonight too. So I'm a couple episodes behind.
There's been some controversy about Game of Thrones. Like I guess it's just inevitable.
About
the show was so flawless for so long in everybody's eyes, and it was just like there's two lobes to the controversy as far as I can understand it. One is that they're departing from the books more and more. I don't know if it's accurate to say more and more, but I thought I heard something that their plan was to actually depart from them to an extent that it would be okay to just coexist.
Yeah, and you kind of have to at some point. But I'm curious what you guys think. I mean, are you guys cool with them going in a different direction than the books?
They're almost caught up to the books anyway, right? So wouldn't they have to? It's like sort of
right. I mean, that's the thing too. Is he's racing to finish the next book, but then at some point, all these shows have to go in their own direction. I mean, that's the thing about Walking Dead as well. Is the treat is they do sort of honor the comics, but at the same time, they've gone in a different direction. They've created new characters. They've sort of taken things from the comics and sort of switched them around, changed the timetable. But it's still it's enjoyable for both, and it's an opportunity to have two different sort of paths for that that genre.
Yeah, the other lobe of the controversy was a really specific thing of like the brutality of the I think the reason why it was so controversial is because also it wasn't in the books, so that's kind of the definition of gratuitous. Was Sansa's wedding night or wasn't this like her third wedding night? Sansa hasn't had a good life, and so there was her wedding night to shitbag. Ramsay, cool name, bad guy. Whatever. But if you don't know, it doesn't matter. It's a brutal, it's not a great consensual kind of wedding night. And now, so like cinematically, as far as what happens on the screen, it's actually one of the least gratuitous things in Game of Thrones history. There's a shot of him ripping open the back of her dress, and then the rest is played on her terrified face, which is all the more brutal. And also, it's like the rest of the show is just like actual reverse cowgirl action, and no one can actually ever have sex in Game of Thrones. Someone's always walking in. But I think so. I was like, well, okay, so it wasn't in the book, okay. And then there's a lot of argument of like, well, we already knew Ramsay was bad. Why are we doing this? And you certainly don't want to dance near the hot button of like the emerging feminism and stuff. And I don't want to take that stuff lightly or dismiss it for dumb reasons. But I will say, I feel like the whole Game of Thrones series, not a guy that read the books, like when I watch the show, I feel like those two sisters, Arya and Sansa, that the whole series is like, it's this like to me. The whole point of that show is that I'm waiting for the two of them to enter the same room again after all these years, because one of them in the beginning of the show is just a standard like, oh, I'm the princess archetype, and my value is in learning to sew, and I'm going to get married off, and I'm a diplomat, and I'm going to learn how to consolidate power from my family because I'm pretty and blah blah blah. And then the other girl is like, I want to shoot arrows. You're not allowed to shoot arrows. And it's like, okay, we know these archetypes, we resonate with them. And then the shit just hits the fan. And these two girls in particular, they're separated. And now we're just watching them. Like Arya has now become like this weird ninja assassin that's like learning how to like bend her mind so she can poison people or whatever. And Sansa is like is no less a hero, and by virtue of the tragedy that's befalling her. It's like it's like the darkest versions of their little fantasies that we were watching them before their lives went to hell. And so for that one reason, I was like, well, you know what, the more bad shit that happens to Sansa, the better. Like, right? So I mean, maybe that's the point, or I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is, you're right. It's a very delicate topic, especially right now in society and in the world, and you have to be prepared to either justify it or be sort of cognizant that this is going to create a controversy, and you better have sort of your explanation ready. You better be ready to sort of explain it. And sometimes I'm surprised when networks or producers are caught off guard by controversy when you can sort of see it a mile away. And in this age of social media, anything can become a controversy. So you always have to be ready to explain yourself and justify the direction that you go on a show. So that's where I kind of sort of still don't understand, is when people aren't ready to.
Have they had a response? Has there been a response from the production side to the controversy? Has anyone issued a statement saying, like, look, leave us alone, we're Game of Thrones, or anything? Have they said anything?
Yeah, I mean, they've come out and said, if we apologize if we have offended people, that that wasn't the purpose of this storyline. This sort of the usual sort of explanation, and so they're big, so.
I have a question. I thought.
Thank you, Curtis.
Well, I was just wondering something, because I might be wrong, because I'm way behind. I'm still in the books. But my question is that the problem with this particular case was that it actually, and correct, I know I will be instantly corrected, that it was something that in the books did not happen to that character.
Right.
It was something that was imposed on the character. Is that correct? So that was the reason for the controversy. It wasn't the fact that it was a rape or how visually brutal it was. It was that they arbitrarily took another character and gave the rape to this character.
Yeah, I think it was all the above.
Yeah.
It was sort of just, the perfect storm of this was going to incite some concern out there. And then on social media especially, this is an age of social media, as you know, Dan, and that's actually...
It's weird that, so like where it's Sopranos, Deadwood, Game of Thrones. I mean, I'm not defending anything, but the word for the other side is that it's like, come on, what are we getting high on when we're watching these shows? It's like there's a point when like it looks like, I'm trying to avoid spoilers, so I'm just speaking in very general things, but there's a point when it looks like Peter Dinklage might die, and that's not a spoiler. It's just like he's in a tough physical spot, and I found myself going like, you know what, this could be it. Like, and that's what makes that show so amazing. That's what made Breaking Bad really interesting. It's like the brutality and the randomness, the chaos. It's like, holy shit, like, I don't know. I mean, that show's first season ends in one of the biggest, like what the fucks in TV history, because you're like, what? He was Michael Thrones. You killed Michael Thrones.
PD.
It's his game. Cersei literally 5 minutes earlier gave him the Game of Thrones speech. Remember? She's like, if you're going to play this Game of Thrones, I suggest you be very careful. And he's like, okay, I will be careful. Skrunk. And we were like, holy shit. And we were like, we're tearing at our shirts and we're like freaking out. And then we just like sat there and waited for the next season because we're like, holy shit. And it's happened 1,000 times in that show since then. And so that's the only, I'm neither defending nor attacking because of the sensitivity of the issue. And it's like I don't want to mansplain about any of that stuff. I want to stay on the TV like consumer side of this thing and not it's none of my business on the gender side. But that's the other thing to consider is just like, the fucking like brutality. We can't, because the argument I keep hearing is like, come on, give me a break. We already knew that guy was a bad guy. I'm like, well, come on. By that argument, Oscar the Grouch is as bad as it should get, because he's like, and if you want to freak people out, Oscar's got to like lunge at Big Bird's throat every once in a while. I'd be like, I fucking hate birds because I'm racist. Just blood everywhere.
The series finale of Sesame Street. Fade to black.
Why don't we bring out media correspondent Spencer Crittenden? I walked in with a bag. I brought a paper bag. It says Hannah on it in Sharpie. It's not an emergency. Is Hannah here? Okay. Yep. There's it, Hannah. Aaron packed a little bag for her. Okay, good. I thought I'd use Spencer's sit-down time. Is that it? Does it say Hannah on it?
It does.
Yeah, it does. Okay. This is below your pay grade. You're a comptroller. But you can hand it off. All right. There it goes to Marissa. And We have like a whole congregation. I know people's names.
That's for Aaron.
Oh, that's for Aaron. That's the backpack.
Is that just a drug deal that happened? I had this idea where you could sell cocaine out of a bowling alley by putting it in the shoes. And this is very similar to that whole methodology.
What TV shows are you watching, Spencer?
Oh, you know, I don't know. Well, I just started watching Silicon Valley. I just got caught up. Yeah, Game of Thrones, you know, okay. Okay, this is not spoilers. It's been said that Obsidian can kill those White Walkers. And they've revealed arrowheads made of obsidian. And spoiler alert, sometimes the White Walkers watch things. They just stand there watching stuff happening. Why can't they just shoot them in the fucking face with obsidian arrows? It'd be done. It'd be over. It'd all be no more game.
You mean like the leaders?
They just fucking
guys.
stand there. Assholes. I don't know. When I saw those obsidian arrowheads, I was like, what the fuck are you idiots doing? If you didn't show the arrowheads, I wouldn't have this question in my brain. Okay, sorry. I know, but I mean, there's only a limited supply of White Walkers. There's not infinite of them. You could just 4 arrows, done.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, everybody. Bumming everybody out with obsidian. All I've been thinking about, you guys, is just Minecraft. Just Minecraft blood magic.
Shit. All right.